We back.
Mike's
We back.
hot. We back.
Oh, I like this.
Hold on, let me make sure nothing's on. I'm hating this camera right now.
We're all
But
wearing
we
black.
back. Open. Wait, what?
We're all wearing black in some variation. I like that. We look like a team finally.
Yeah, we look like a team.
Black, like the Undertaker.
You just need a trim of red. That's all it is.
Trim of red.
Yeah, because we all got a trim of red on. You feel me? You don't.
I was wearing green today.
Green is for the
So you're just gonna
gold
make
is
it
for the hood.
absolutely worse to the point I was trying to make.
Yes.
See, this is why it's so hard to be a team with him specifically.
That's what I do best, bro. But anyways,
Be that one.
we back.
We back.
We back.
We back.
We back.
We back.
Can I
baby.
finish, y'all? All right, we back. Open gym episode. I have no clue.
course you
With me, Rondell, Marvell, and T. How y'all feeling?
You with you? You just said that.
I said with me, Marvell, and T. How y'all
He
feeling?
did. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Resurrection.
How y'all doing? Though?
We got 2 phone team in the building. How we living, man?
Living good, man. Living great. This is basketball season is about to end, unfortunately. But fortunately, basketball season is about to begin too here. College is coming up not too distant future. So yeah, pretty happy about that.
Rondell, how you feeling, bud?
I'm good, man.
I just called you bud. I don't like that. For real.
Ooh, man.
I kind of feel like I need to wash my mouth. But I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I feel great today.
So let's get started. Let's recap Game 4. Wait, Game 4 just happened, right? I'm lost.
No.
All right,
Is that
so
Game 5?
Yeah, it was game 5.
You sure?
no, it was game 4.
Yeah, it was-
It was game 4 because the Lakers were up to 1.
All right, so let's
Game
recap
5
that.
coming up, yeah.
So Miami, like I said before, they show so much fight, man.
Right.
And you have to do nothing but respect them. Injuries do play a key role. It's just that LA is they're just on a mission, man. I actually had Miami winning this game, but it's just like, there's just so much flow that the Lakers have displayed in this game that I feel they made some real big shots. Danny Green is disappointing me, and it hurts. Rondo is I hate Rondo right now. I really do. I hate Rondo. Roofing, burn, we don't know. Injuries. Anthony Davis.
Wait, what?
For Rondo's career, this is my narrative for him shooting threes now.
Oh, I was messing with this board real quick. I ain't pay attention. You said Rondo, evolution, Bron, injuries.
Yeah, that must all tie in together why Rondo's shooting threes nowadays.
Oh, okay. All right.
But Anthony Davis, can anyone just finally realize, take him out that wing 3? Take him out, because Anthony Davis is the one player that I feel like has the most mismatches sometimes, and it capitalizes on it. Not to say that LeBron gets his mismatches, but I feel like Anthony Davis connects and he banks on his mismatches a lot more against Miami, especially with the injury of Bam Adebayo. I think that this is a cooked series. Like, against the Lakers, have possibly 4-1 to everybody. So that's my prediction, man. It might be over, unfortunately, for Miami.
It's over. It's over now. Move over. It's their turn now. It's over. The game shuts down. Sorry.
What are you singing?
It's
Was that
over,
Andy?
fool. Didn't you not hear the words to the song? It's over.
Right?
Right, I got that, but what was that referencing?
He's too young. He's too young. He's too young. We can't do nothing about this.
I don't know. It sounded like Andy, and I'm like, there's no way he's over here referencing Andy.
So I'm not smart enough to reference Andy? Is that what you're saying?
Look, I'm not.
Maybe it was Andy.
I'm not saying you're not smart enough. I'm just saying it was weird. It was weird, bro. It was weird.
He stuttered and everything.
It's just that really hurts my feelings.
Crazy.
I never thought you would say something about your teammate, bro.
It was just
To
weird,
the
bro.
media, too?
You changed, bro.
This man goes on to the media and just...
You don't even.
Before I
That's
was
dangerous.
rudely interrupted.
Mm.
What did I say the series looked like at the beginning of the series? A lot like LA and Orlando. And that's pretty much how this is going to end up. A lot like LA and Orlando. Miami's just overmatched at this point. They got Jimmy out there, which Jimmy's a dog. He's about that. You know, he's ready, but you can be as ready as you want to be, and LA is still a whole other entity. The biggest problem for opposing teams was always going to be Anthony Davis, and to this point, and to Marvel's credit, it still is Anthony Davis. He may not win the Finals MVP just because it's always a narrative based award.
Yes, sir.
If you're the pro LeBron crowd, you want him to win it just so you could be able to say, "Well, you got another Finals MVP. Nobody's ever had it over him." Even though there's been a couple of times where people can make an argument, I still don't think that LeBron ever was not the Finals MVP. I just think like the Kyrie year, there was an argument. It still was unequivocally LeBron's Finals MVP to win, but I think Kyrie had a good enough case. But this year, I honestly think it's Anthony Davis. But I think the way that the media votes sometimes, and I think the way people are going to look at it, is it's LeBron's legacy. And Anthony Davis, that's going to be the big difference. And I don't think people are talking about it now, but that's going to be the underrated factor of it. How is he going to take this? You know, if you've been doing everything you can, you've been balling out, you've been doing your thing. It ain't gonna feel that great if after you get it done, you hear LeBron, 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 and oh by the way, you're going to hear Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. Now, granted, doing this for Kobe is a big thing. It's great for LA. It's great for the organization. It's great for his family. It's great for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you're now third fiddle to the person that you can feel like you've outplayed during that series, and they wouldn't win without you. Um, Two, a player that rest in peace, he's deceased, but you're still third place in that conversation. Now, I'm not saying that Anthony Davis can't accept that and can't take it and can't be all right with it. I'm just saying that that's going to be a factor because if he takes it a different way, if he goes the Kyrie pouty whine mode and it's a bigger thing and he's bigger than the team, that could blow LA up and this could be a very short-lived situation. So, I mean, I think that's something to key in on, especially with Anthony Davis about to be a free agent. But we can't get there unless he gets the job from start and he doesn't get the playoff MVP or the finals MVP. If there's anything that will make him not get it, I would say it was that clunker of the game with 4 or 3 that he had. Yeah, it was game 3 when Miami won. I think he had 15-5 and stayed in foul trouble. LeBron was pretty much consistent the whole time with his numbers.
Right.
So I think if anything, that's how the voters will look at it. I still think the number one player in this whole series was Anthony Davis. And again, he was going to be the problem no matter who they played because at this point, I'm not saying these people can guard LeBron, but Jimmy Butler can at least, follow LeBron around a little bit, make it tough. Andre Iguodala can make it tough. Solomon Hill, a couple minutes can make it tough. Like all these guys, you can throw at LeBron. They ain't Kelly Olynyk ain't doing nothing with Anthony Davis. A hobble Bam Adebayo ain't doing nothing with Anthony Davis. A healthy Bam Adebayo may not be able to do nothing with Anthony Davis. So it was his time to shine. The one thing I want to see from Anthony Davis more of though is him just going nuclear. I think he goes and gets you just what you need a lot of times. I want to see 50 and 20 out of this man because he's fully capable. Dominate. Make it where they cannot hit you with the shiest. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that they cannot give it to LeBron. But that's something to watch for. But as far as the series, like I called it, the LA Orlando series, you knew Orlando was overmatched when they was dealing with Kobe and Gasol and all them. It's the same thing now. Miami just had their run.
You keep saying L.A. Orlando.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like similar comparing.
He trying to call me stupid again.
That's
happening.
dang.
No,
man.
I'm literally
It's not that you're stupid, T. It's just that he's so lost. He's lost.
No, I'm confused. Like
We know.
I
That's
said-
what you just
LA,
said.
Orlando.
I said at the beginning of the series, I said this reminds me of LA Orlando back in 09 when LA played Orlando.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say 09.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part.
When Orlando beat the Cavs and made it to the final.
Why are you looking at me like that when I did not hear him say 09?
Too near me not to hear me. But anyway,
I am over here trying to mess with this board, trying to make sure we don't cut in and out.
Look at this dude.
see if we would come
Like-
on time,
All right, bro.
these things would happen.
I mean, it's only cutting in and out. Like try not to peak the mics. That's it.
So you ain't gonna tell us that it was peeking in and out? That's what I'm saying, man. You're not really a teammate for real, bro.
Well, y'all weren't yelling at first.
Anyway,
This is a tragedy, America.
point being is, just like Orlando back in 09, Miami is just overmatched. Like just because you're in the finals, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily better.
Right.
It's just they had a great run. their magic carpet ride is over at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like Hollywood is Hollywood, LA is just the better team. It was always going to kind of come down to an LA team, and I always felt that way. Just this case, it's the Lakers, and I mean, like I said, right back to '09, it was just Orlando was there. They were just overmatched. Miami's here, they're just overmatched. So I mean, kudos to them for getting this far. I mean, there ain't no participation trophies over here, but I mean that's a big thing for them to even get to the finals because nobody expected that. But like I said, that buck stops here though. It's the King's land nowadays, and I mean that's it's a good thing for them. I mean, I didn't necessarily want to see it because I wanted to see something different and see a team actually built that way. Now I know Miami, um, they're not exempt from the whole super team thing because you can argue that they are the ones that really made it this way. But the team that they built this year, this is the kind of team where you see a GM doing his work, an organization doing what they need to do. And this, who knows, this may not be the year that they win the finals, but this may be the year that now another free agent wants to come and holler at them. They made it appealing. We'll get to this later. One of their guys I put on one of these teams, and a big reason why is what I've seen out of them this year. So it's just for Miami right now, it's setting the tone, just like Denver before. These things can plateau you until next year. You know what I'm saying? Catapult you into next year, and you can do real big things with it. So, I mean, it sucks now and it's going to hurt, but I mean, most of us expected them to be going home 2, 3 weeks ago. So, no for them.
My thing is too. I think with
Hey,
Miami,
before you go on, let me get a piece. Like, golly, y'all just always cutting me out,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm just not used to you talking a lot.
You right, you right.
It just must be the camera, bro.
Nah,
My
I
fault.
just wanted to say, Bunk City over here, he commented the series is over. Bron got another one, and as long as they keep AD on Jimmy, it's over, and AD will get MVP. So shout out to Bunk City for watching.
Big brother Bunk, we coming out there hanging out, bro. My man.
But yeah, you going. Also, I would like to just say I call this the Lakers is gonna win. So
That was the only piece that you wanted. Can continue, bro. Like I
no,
feel
no,
like
no.
I feel like you got more.
No, I'm just
No,
being
like
all
it's not
producer.
even me being funny. I feel like you got more. Like just join in the conversation, bro.
No,
I feel like you have some like important things to say.
No, man,
No?
you got it.
You
got
sure?
it, Marvin.
I got it.
Even the
Oh.
disappointing father look like.
No, I was just saying, like, I didn't know if Rondell, how he had a drum on him. So, you know what I mean? Just let off some shots. Go ahead.
Nah,
You
nah.
brought the D into my house, huh?
I'm just saying, like, bro, like, if you have something to say, please extend yourself.
Man, if you don't go.
Ooh, I don't like that attitude. But, so I also feel like with Miami going into the offseason this year, I feel like what they should do is look at some. I know that they have some veteran wings that play some good defense, like a Solomon Thomas that you were saying, and Andre Iguodala. I think that with Jimmy Butler, there needs to be someone that can help Jimmy Butler on the perimeter defensively because you can rotate him at the 2 and the 3. He's mostly ran as a 3 in the system of Miami. But more importantly, I think that they need to help more Bam than Jimmy because now we're looking at one person who's Anthony Davis. Let's get that out the way. Who's a one-man wrecking crew in the low post. That's a big man. You know what I mean? Anthony Davis is one of those special talents, like T was saying. He wants to see 50 and 20 out of him because he's capable of doing it. I think that with Anthony Davis can give you a smooth 40 and 20 on a winning game. And I think that's what's going to happen, too, with the winning game that they do. Anthony Davis is going to drop 40 and, 17, and then Bron's going to flirt with a triple-double. He's probably going to have, 27, 99, his career averages. And that's what they're going to win by probably 13, 12 maybe. That's my prediction. I feel like it's probably going to be 113, 111. I mean 101. That's my prediction for the next game. But I feel like with Bam Adebayo, when he got drafted to Miami, he had Hassan Whiteside still. And I thought that they were going to put Bam at the 4 just to have Hassan Whiteside, and then there were just 2 big defensive players, and one being real athletic and Bam Adebayo being 6'9". He's an undersized center. He's 6'9", 240 frame, very athletic though, plays defense. But I think that they need to find him some help as far as rebounding and defense goes. Bam's going to work on his offense. I feel like he's going to be a Montrezl Harrell type of player. But I think that he needs to have a very solid defender around him. Nobody too major. Someone that's a vet, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like a Robin Lopez, but a little better along those lines. If you can find somebody, I can't think of nobody at the top of my head right now, but I think that he needs. I think Miami needs more potent front court, and I think they need some defensive perimeter players. That's what's going to help them most. And then with Jimmy Butler being guarded by Anthony Davis, it's great because I feel like everybody that's played LA has tried their absolute hardest to get Anthony Davis in foul trouble, which is the smartest thing to do. That's what I've noticed with every team that has played the Lakers. They've tried to get Anthony Davis in foul trouble. Even then with the final seconds of last night's game with Jimmy Butler with like 24 seconds left was trying to drive to the hole and Anthony Davis just swatted it like it was nothing. He was trying to draw a foul and try to get an and one for a 3-point opportunity and stop the clock. I get that. But you're not going to do that to, I think, Anthony Davis won player of the year before, right? I mean, defensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not going to do that to a former defensive player of the year and someone that's a generational talent. And you're not going to get away with that, especially wasting time to drive to the cup. You know, it's just not going to happen. So you can get Anthony Davis to 4 fouls within like 2 minutes in the third quarter. It's easy. Other than that, it's just like someone's going to step up. That's what it is. It comes down to.
All right, okay. Bunk City also said the Lakers will repeat next year if they get Bill or Victor O.
No.
See, he always want to take it too far.
No.
He can't
No.
just stop while he ahead. He always want to take it too.
Next year is
far.
going to be so difficult for everybody. Next year is going to be so difficult.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited for next year.
I am
The
too.
West is gonna be, oh man.
Well, next
Warriors
year
is gonna be
you.
For real. I'm looking forward to the East next year.
the East.
I'm actually looking forward to the East.
I mean, yeah, you got Giannis. The Heat look like they coming into something. Boston is gonna be coming back for revenge.
I feel like
Philly gonna be something.
I feel like the East is about to get better coaching, so that's going to make a lot of transitions a lot easier for the Eastern Conference, especially like they're going to get coaches that most likely fits their system.
All right.
That's what it comes down to ultimately. Like I said, I already knew that Doc Rivers was going to go to Philly. I called that. Someone's going to get picked up in Indiana. Billy Donovan just went to the
Chicago.
Bulls. So yeah, it's going to be dumb interesting. And plus, Brooklyn's going to be coming back healthy.
Yeah, I forgot about Brooklyn.
Washington is interesting because I want to see what they're going to do with Bradley Beal.
Hopefully trade him.
I feel like Chicago should have been in this year's playoff, so I have high expectations for them again. And Boston's going to probably run it back. Nothing's really going to change. I think they need a center though, but they're probably going to just run it back. Toronto's probably going to do something drastic, but it's not going to be too drastic. They're going to run it back. All the top 4 teams are going to run it back, except for like the Pacers. I feel like they're going to do something drastic by trading Miles Turner, but they're probably going to fall back to that move is going to make them fall back to like 6th.
What would that even get them?
It can get you a lot. Miles Turner can go to a lot of teams, bro. Like I was just saying about Miami needing a center.
But I mean, who really needs them? I guess Miami. But,
Miami could.
But what they gonna get from Miles Turner? That's what I really want to know. I'm not saying he's like trash, but
in a trade out, that would probably be weird. You probably have to give up probably like a Kendrick Nunn, probably
maybe like Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, probably and some draft picks for a Miles Turner. I don't know what his contract's looking like either, so
I don't need it.
He would probably go to like a Toronto too, pair Miles Turner with Pascal Siakam.
Right.
It's just stuff like that, just for the off season. I feel like it's going to be great.
See, that's why I wouldn't crown LA that fast, just because it's so many what ifs, and just like the NFL season this year, I think the turnaround it may be the opposite. Like I think with NFL, it helps the veteran teams. The teams that have quarterbacks that have been in the system, stuff like that. I think they're doing a lot better than the young guns that you have to teach them a lot more. You have to bring them together. I think the flip turnaround about, like a team like LA is their veterans, their older team. They've just played back to back games, or not back to back, but every other day for like the last month and a half. It's gonna be a lot of wear and tear, and then that turnaround because you got to think if you're in Portland, Portland's been home for a couple weeks now.
All right.
They'll be able to turn around a lot quicker than LA will because by the time the new season comes, even if it's coming in December, January. Now, granted, they had time off before COVID, but now they done got the sweat built up. They done got their tired legs and all of that. How is that going to affect them? Now, they may come out like gangbusters and do what they need to do, come dominate early. But I still think that that's a concern just because it almost feels like your season just ended before they turn it around. So I think that's another factor. When does the NBA start? Do they give them enough time to be able to get acclimated? How does the head start, quote unquote, the head start that the bum teams got by having these little mini camps and all of that? They may have, feel that energy. So you may look at a team, like you reference the Wizards. The Wizards might come out and ball out crazy at the first couple months of the season just because they had so much time off. They have so much energy and they're
I mean, that
still.
could also work against them.
It could, but legs is a thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's why I said the season matters. Because what if, let's say,
But I
what
mean,
they.
will John Wall be healthy by then?
Well, I mean, I would
Possibly. He
hope so.
should.
The man been sitting down for almost
2
2 years.
years.
But if he's been sitting down for 2 years, he might have fresh legs. But what if his skills diminished?
It's
And
different
that's likely.
because that's his thing. That's a him problem.
Right.
Because all this time, like I'm not a doctor. I don't know his injury extent of it. I don't know his training regimen or nothing like that. But generally, when you have an injury like that, most of that is you can do regular stuff. You just can't play at a high level NBA basketball. If
Right.
you look back at tape months ago, John Wall was doing reverse layups, dunks, in and out burgers. He was doing a little bit of everything just because he's able to do that because he's practicing. That's going to be the thing. All that time off, did he work on his 3 point shooting? Your legs are bad, but you can still catch and shoot. Throw a couple of them up. If he worked on his game, if he got motivated, because you're watching all these players pass you by. John Wall was looked at as always a top 5, top 10 kind of point guard. Now, would you not take Van Fleet over John Wall right now?
Yeah, I would. Easily.
If that's John Wall,
Easily.
that has to fire you up, though. Because there's no way Van Fleet is a better player than I am, but I can rely on Van Fleet.
I actually don't know if I'll take Van.
Because you've seen more out of Van Fleet in 2 years than you have from John Wall. So it's kind of like a what have you done for me lately as well.
Well, I get it when you look at it like that, but overall,
my point being is, as a player,
right.
John Wall is miles above Van Fleet.
That's a
Right.
fact.
But you would still make an argument that maybe I would take Van Fleet over. It used to be Kyrie. Used to be Kimba that was argument about. Okay, I can give you that. Van Fleet. Come on, man. That's disrespect at this point.
Right,
but
right.
that's a conversation you have to have because we just don't know.
And plus, it's the system that you want to run.
Yeah, absolutely. So if
Alright.
he's mad and motivated and he's ready to come out there and show what he needs to do, we'll see a John Wall rejuvenated and they may ball out. But those are so many questions that come about how the new season turnaround is going to be that you can't crown anybody right now, especially with LeBron. At some point, you're going to have to break down. We ain't seen it yet, no. But at some point, this man's going to have to prove he's human. And it could be this upcoming year where that starts to come. Because it doesn't happen unless you're Darren Williams. It's not a dramatic drop off like that.
I mean, last year he pretty much proved he was human when he had to ice his whole body down.
You can say that, but then you can also say, like, timing is everything. So around the same time LeBron got hurt was the same time they was trying to ship everybody and their mama out for freaking Anthony Davis at that time.
Right.
You got a young, brittle mindset locker room that LeBron might have thought it's better off to just chalk it right now. We really need Anthony Davis. That draft pick got him Anthony Davis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So these were all, I think LeBron probably could have played last year. That groin wouldn't hurt him that bad. It was just at a certain point.
Well, I mean, the Rondo thing said it best. Like his body language, that whole rest of the year wasn't. It affected that whole team.
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care because he knew everybody was about to be gone. He packed the bags for him.
Yeah, like you could tell.
So I mean, it is what it is. But now he got what he wants. He's probably gonna hoist the trophy up after that. So I mean,
Right.
is his hunger the same after that too? You know what I'm saying? Like, is LeBron okay with being 4-6 is a whole lot better than 3-6?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's his mindset, we don't know. But again, I'm just not gonna crown him yet.
I have a hot take.
But before you go on, since we're on LeBron, let's get to his legacy.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go
Oh,
into.
that's who you was gonna go to.
This is the one hot take that I have.
Yeah, but Bunk City said as long as LeBron is playing, everyone's got to go through the Lakers, no matter the team or coach.
That's true, but that was going to kind of dispute what my hot take was, and here's the hot take.
What's that?
LeBron's going to win this finals, right? It's going to be the last finals he wins in his whole career.
It's okay.
Yep, it's the last one he wins.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll be fine with that. Cause when you think on it, like the Warriors is coming back.
Yep, the Warriors
Clippers
are coming
back.
Because think of it, the Warriors are coming back. The Pelicans are young.
Yeah.
They almost made the playoffs.
Nuggets.
Nuggets are young, and they were in the top three. The Clippers are going to run it back some point. Portland's going to try to find some type of like adjustments. Dallas had lost Chris Naps, and they would have beat the Clippers if it wasn't for that, and they still had Luka.
Don't
The
forget
Spurs almost made the playoffs. Who else was the Suns are looking like having to have a lot of momentum, and they're probably going to do
team
something.
but the Rockets right now.
So the Rockets they just fired D'Antoni, so they're probably going to look to finally get a big man.
That was mutual.
Yeah, Miles Turner, coming into that mix. But yeah, they're going to restart that whole system. Hopefully, I really hope they don't go with analytics anymore. They can't get rid of Westbrook because it's Westbrook.
Right.
OKC is probably going to be selling a lot of their contracts.
A new coach also.
Yeah, they need a new coach also. You know what I'm saying? There's still the off season. You still have some competitive teams in the East that look like they could take off LA if they need to, as far as like roster wise.
I don't even think he'll. If I kind of agree with you looking at it, I don't think he'll make it.
It's a lot tougher.
Like it will be a lot tougher. Like this year, he kind of ran through the West.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I mean, like he'll be fifth, fourth, maybe third seed, but I don't see him being like.
Because it's not to discredit the Lakers, but when you look at the Lakers and who they played Portland, who was one of the worst defensive teams in the league, especially on the front court. Even though you can't believe it when you look at Nurkic and Whiteside,
right.
They played against the Nuggets, who played 2 Game 7 series, and then they played who else did they play? Rockets, who don't even have a center.
Right.
And they 4-1 them all. You know what I mean? So I'm not like I said, it's not a discredit to the Lakers. But I'm saying is once teams make those adjustments, and then plus they said that what I mean, we can make them bleed.
Right.
It's over with. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of plays into what T was saying about fresh legs. Like
mm-hmm.
all those teams have fresh legs, especially the Warriors. They definitely gonna come with a vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. With Steph and Clay coming back, and they have a top 3 pick. That's ridiculous. And then plus 2, they could possibly get Giannis. Possibly. It's a chance. It's a chance. We all said that KD wasn't going to the Warriors, right?
I never said that. I didn't even know that was going to happen.
I said it because I thought he was going to DC. I ain't going to hold you.
I thought it was whack that he was going to do it, but I knew he was going to do it because that's the generation we live in. People want to take the easy way out a lot. People they don't want to earn it. They want to give it to him. And I seen that opportunity, and I knew KD kind of rolled LeBron. Ain't no kind of. KD rolled LeBron's strap in pretty much everything he did.
Gosh.
So I knew for a fact he was gonna hop on that pony and do it again, and just like he did it.
Yo, you gotta be like that.
Out there, that's exactly what he did. Everything he does, it mirrors LeBron.
This man.
I can do. That's exactly what he's on. That's his big brother.
That's crazy.
It was that mentality that I knew that was gonna happen, and now you look at it, and it's been what the league is.
I didn't expect that.
But I think what worked in the Lakers' favor is the fact that when was the last time you seen a Lakers team or a LeBron James led team that wasn't the 100? So it was, all along people knew the Lakers were going to be good. They were at the top of that standings all year, but you still kind of thought the Clippers is a better team all year. I know I thought that. All year the Clippers were the better team.
I ain't think that.
I still think to this day, if the Clippers would have played the Lakers, they would have beat them. No. It's a matchup thing.
I mean, I would say they the better defensive team, but when it comes to scoring, I still got the Lakers on that.
Because you still got to look at the Clippers being very undersized for one. They're a very undersized team, very good defensive team, but very undersized too. The Clippers' offense, the way they ran their offense was extremely basic. Frank Vogel would have picked it apart. If not Vogel, Braun would have picked it apart. If not, AD would have found mismatches. And that's great. And then they still have Pandemic Pete.
It would
any team that with Pandemic Pete in the playoffs is not going nowhere.
See, that's the extra stuff that
since y'all mentioned that, one of y'all picked Paul George for y'all's team in this building team later on.
We will find out. We will find out.
Shoot.
But anyway, that's something that you couldn't foresee. Like if I'm looking at it when I'm picking at your best. At Paul George's best, along with Kawhi, along with Pat Bev, along with with Morris, along with Zubac and Harrell and Lou Williams, they were supposed to do that thing. They choked more than I think Denver made some miraculous comeback. I just think it's always a little bit of both, And then you see Doc Rivers. Like, I think there's something to be said about that. As quick as he was going, I'm talking about he got the Martin get the step and exit for real, for real. Like, that happened quick. And you wouldn't think that was somebody with his whole demeanor, his whole, his personality, the way he, attacks social issues, all that. Like, you would have thought Doc would have had a better standing in that locker room, but he was going like that. So that tells me that there were way more things that we imagined that happened in that locker room that really was the cause of the Clippers kind of collapsing and everything. So
I mean, as quiet as he is, Kawhi he's been on the tear causing problems for like a few years. And
it's
then,
always the quiet one you got to worry about.
I mean, why you look at me when you said that?
You're the quiet one.
That's crazy. And then you gotta think like Doc and Paul George, they probably got problems from years back off the court.
Ain't there some Paul George and somebody's daughter or something?
Yeah, it was Doc Rivers' daughter.
Yeah, okay. What is with that, man? I know I seen Jalen Ramsey and another topic of football. Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate got in the scrap.
Yeah, that was over. That was over. Yeah, the sister. Yeah,
it's weird, man. Like,
hey, keep families out of it.
Exactly. Like, nah, man, that's a whole different entity. But I mean, that just goes to suggest that that's what happened, though. So I mean, I said that to say this: it's no guarantee of no repeat, because even going back to the Bulls documentary, it's so many more things that come into play that causes the team not to be able to win a title or a game or whatever. So I mean, I get what Bunk's saying because it looks good right now, but there's so many factors that you have to deal with. So
yeah, he also said they got one more. He said, I think he's saying LeBron got one more. It all depends on the off season.
You don't.
He may.
He don't.
But I mean,
I can see one more. Man. It's just gonna be hard.
Because like this is the narrative again, like what people saying about the Clippers, they should have won it this year. People saying this is an asterisk around this year, which is still completely unfair because I think that everybody would have claimed. I mean, some people it died down a lot. Some people would have said asterisk if the Lakers win still because they feel salty about the Clippers. Or
no, people still giving it asterisk. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly LeBron haters.
But do you realize what if Miami was up right now 3-1? How many asterisk jokes right now would come through because Brown ain't win?
Yeah.
Just think about it. It's just more so of like a narrative more than anything. Like I said, this all goes into LeBron's legacy, I feel. Because, again, LeBron's done something special. How many people could say that they won a championship during a global pandemic?
I mean, how many people could say they won? Well, I'm not even going to finish that because someone has actually won championships with, like, multiple franchises, I think.
Yeah, I think that he would be the first finals MVP for 3 teams.
Is he going to be the finals MVP?
It's gonna be a narrative award given to him.
I mean, if it's
because I really think that it deserves to be AD. Because if you look at AD and what he's meant to that team for the playoffs, and a lot of the mismatches and whatnot came from him, and a lot of the dominant performance were him. Even though LeBron's had his standouts, you know what I mean?
He's been solid.
But looking at it too, like I know it's not anything involving the playoffs and whatnot, but AD has led every category except for assist and other like a 3-point percentage. That's it.
I mean, that's what LeBron wanted, though, at the end of the day.
But that's another thing, too, I wanted to point out. You ever notice how people have always put, like, a LeBron in a tandem at, like, the top 5 ever whenever LeBron is the best player on that tandem?
Right.
But now that AD is the best player in that tandem this season, no one's putting him in the top 5.
It's crazy.
It's the Bron narrative, bro. And then on top of that, AD is very, very talented. I think AD is a better pair with him than Kyrie. Now, it's only because I feel like with Kyrie and when you watch him with AD, their flow is kind of different. It's with Kyrie, of course, it's going to be different because you have a power forward and a point guard comparison. So one's going to have the ball more than the other, and one's more of a scorer instead of just like a team player. But that's the big difference that LeBron needs. LeBron can run that point guard because he has a better IQ than Kyrie. So, and he's more of a natural facilitator. And AD is so dominant and he's probably the best big man in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, with being the best big man in the league and you have Bron, that's a great combination. So, it's the closest thing that you have to like a Shaq Kobe tandem if you wanted to. So, like I said, with LeBron's legacy being here, we talk about 4 and 6. 4 and 6, yeah, it's a losing record, and it's like what T says, it's a lot better than 3 and 6. But when you look at it, it's like it depends on what he does more in the Western Conference to solidify like what he really is like when it comes to the tail end of his career.
I mean, to be honest, since the Western Conference is coming back to full strength, I could see him getting one more, but I could see this being like the end of his career because he gonna have to do a lot just to get that team to the finals again.
Just that groin injury, and it's been reoccurring in the bubble too, because remember he actually sat out a few games in the bubble with the groin injury.
Right.
So with that coming up, we're starting to see a more human Braun. Now, is he still a machine? Of course. And is he still a machine that a lot of people can't figure out? Of course. That's where the IQ and building that $1.5 million goes to his body. That's exactly what that is. But I think that LeBron's teams are always super old. Like if you put their age accumulative together, it's probably like high 20s, early 30s. You know what I mean? His teams are always old, and that's why I say like when Braun retires and AD's still there, he's gonna have a whole bunch of old heads that can shoot that don't fit the system of AD if he was a primary player on the team. That's exactly what happens to all LeBron teams. LeBron leaves the young dudes or the dudes that's primarily good with old heads or people with blood clots, and they don't send team out. Chris Bosh.
Man, relax on Chris Bosh, man.
Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer, so it's all good.
He's like the girlfriend that runs your credit up and then leaves you because you broke.
That's exactly what Braun is.
That's exactly what happened.
And then your franchise is doo doo for a decade, and y'all finally made the playoffs, but y'all 7th seed.
That's crazy, though.
Now that's what I'm saying. So I'm concerned about, and plus they gave up all those draft picks to get AD.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So they're going to have to get somebody in free agency. They're going to have to pick up like a Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard if they can finally like somehow do that, or they're going to unfortunately have to get Pandemic P to pair with AD.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's the team and how LeBron kind of runs it is where you're going to have to do that because LeBron is his own team. He was never a Cavs. He was never a Miami Heat. He was never a Los Angeles Laker.
He was an organization.
LeBron is the organization. So I don't care about none of that, all that lack of assets that you will have after you're done. That's what it's going to take to get me. I want to care about what's now, the people that I want to bring around, the people that I want to win championships with. And LeBron at this point, he's helping legacies more than it's really helping his own. I think LeBron right now, this does more for Dwight Howard's legacy than it does for LeBron James.
I feel like I think that also what.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that?
Because now Dwight has a ring if they get it. LeBron has his ring.
But I mean, this is his third franchise that he's winning a ring with.
Yeah, but
that don't build up his legacy.
But you expected that. LeBron I ain't saying it doesn't. I said it does more for Dwight's legacy than it does for LeBron. Because you notice with LeBron, Dwight, a couple years ago, you would say he would never win a championship. Dwight would be.
He was problematic.
Dwight would be where James Harden is now.
Right.
Where it's like, well, he may get a championship or he may never. He would.
But
Dwight would be in that Chris Paul boat.
But I mean, I'm looking at it more on the fact that like you still got people who some say LeBron's like the 10th best player of all time or the 4th best. But if he gets a third, he gets a ring with his third franchise, and that should make him like 1A, 1B with Jordan.
Not really.
I don't think LeBron's perception changes for anybody at this point because I think you either love him or you hate him. It's either one. So if you love him, you're going to give him all the credit in the world. Everything great that happens is LeBron. It's never nobody else's. He's better than Jordan last year. LeBron he doesn't get better than Jordan this year because he won the championship. LeBron, in your eyes, if you was a LeBron lover, he was better than Jordan last year. He was better than Jordan 2 years ago. He was better than Jordan when he came off the womb. That's how better he was. If you love him. If you hate him, he would never be better than Jordan. 6-0 Jordan,
right.
And LeBron plays against bums.
But I mean, what about the ones in the middle? The ones that can see it from both sides.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, sure.
It is what I just said. It does more for Dwight Howard than it does LeBron James. Just because personally, I knew how dope LeBron was. I lived it from both angles. I am not a LeBron James fan. I am a Cleveland Cavs fan.
Right.
So that means I had to love that man and hate that man. I seen what it was like on both sides. Now I just watch and enjoy it.
You was one of the people burning his jersey?
No, I didn't. I'm not going to burn my jersey that I paid my money for.
You smart.
I burned something else.
You smart.
The jersey. But But I mean, at the end of the day, I respect greatness.
Right.
I'm never going to be a big fan of the way he goes about the the movements, just
About his
because
path to greatness.
I'm not a fan of that. Just because I'm big on, and I come from a time where if to me you prove it. If I say I'm the best, like you hear me talk about all the time, I want to go against the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. I want to go against the Bomani Jones of the world. I don't think they're the best in my eyes,
Whoa,
but
Bomani
that's how
Jones.
people perceive some of the Jason Whitlocks of the world, the Colin Cowherds of the
Hold
world.
on now. Hold on. I was cool with Steven. I was cool with Bomani. Jason.
He's a super coon, but his super coolness
I'm weak.
makes the whatever that area loving.
Right.
But that's who you call your best. That's who you're telling me these are the guys that are your challengers.
Yeah.
My mentality is destroy. His mentality is team up with everybody. Kumbaya, and we can all be friends. Let's everybody get championship rings, so I can be at all these reunions. It seems like that's what he wants to do. I want to be at all these reunions and be loved and revered and da 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 da. But it helps the white more than it helps him, just because you already know what's up with LeBron. That three, like I'm not. I've never been a big fan of the 3-7, 4-6, none of that, because I've always thought context. You're looking at just the finals. Yeah, Jordan was 6-0 in the finals, but Jordan didn't just play 6 years.
All right.
So
Right, he lost about 9 years first.
He lost in the first round before. Jordan lost in conference semifinals and all of that. So are we just not going to count that because we want to pay attention to one type of thing? And
Right.
that's what the narrative people do. They pay attention to either his record and want to throw a love fest at him, or they want to throw a hate fest. Most of them don't keep it real. That's why I never understand why it's always about the casual fans. Why do you want to please the fans and they ain't even keeping it real? They want LeBron James to win because they can't name 5 other players on that team. That's what it is. I know LeBron James. I don't know the rest of these dudes.
Do you want to name Danny Green, KCP?
Yeah, because if you understand the game and love the game of basketball, you realize that it takes more than these players to get you a championship.
Yeah, even with that, Danny Green though, who really cares to name Danny Green?
Danny Green's a champion a couple times with
Yeah,
different
he got like
franchises.
what, 2 rings,
He
two
had-
different
Three.
franchises. Matter of fact, he's about to be 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
Because
With
he's
3
one with the
different
Spurs.
franchises.
He's one with the Spurs, one with the Raptors, about to win with the Lakers.
But would you have put him in the same boat? No.
Wait, didn't he win 2 with the Spurs?
No, he won 1.
Stat guy needs to get on that one.
Because I thought he was on both Spurs teams
No.
when they beat the Heat.
I can't recall.
He was on because
No.
they played the Heat.
Because one of
twice.
them he broke the record against Miami
They
of
lost
making
it.
the most
They
threes
lost-
in the
they lost
finals.
one, and then they won the other one.
Yeah.
They only played Miami twice.
Okay.
But the first, he wasn't with the Spurs when.
No, his first ring he was definitely with the Spurs.
No. I'm trying to think when the Spurs won before
07.
they got him. I think that was the only time they won.
2007,
before,
I think so.
and he wasn't on that team.
Yeah, I know that. So yeah, we're good. I was thinking the 2 finals appearances. My bad then.
But that gives Rondo another ring. You know what I'm saying? Like Rondo,
As a Celtic and a Laker, that's crazy.
You move up in that
That's
conversation.
wild.
You move up in the point guard conversation a couple slots if you're Rajon Rondo,
Right.
just
A couple.
because you get you another ring. 2 is better than 1. Again, Dwight Howard, it looks better on you. Cal Kuzma, it looks better on
Oh,
you.
it looks
Um,
real great. Kuzma.
looks
Caldwell
disgusting on
Pope, it
Kuzma.
looks better on you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Looks
Alex
disgusting.
Caruso, it looks better on you. Shout out to Quinn Cook. I think this will be another ring for him. I can't
Yeah,
remember
he
if
won
was
with
on
the
it.
Warriors,
I
right?
think so.
You know what?
I'm not 100% sure.
Man, a lot of people were riding the bench with the Warriors.
I try not to get to Dion Doodoo waiters, but my colleague wants to bring him up. But if we're gonna be technical, that is
Dion did right to a
Dion
league.
Doodoo waiters gets the Adam Morrison participation trophy championship too. But
That's wild.
now that looks better on Dion Dookie waiters.
No, he
because
gets the Christian Leitner.
Oh,
He gets the Christian Leitner golden
JR gets
gold
another
medal.
ring. That's crazy.
now J.R. Smith has 2 rings. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron is gonna look good, but that's 4 rings, which is what? Still 1 lower than Kobe. Still 2 shorter than Jordan.
That's
You're
crazy.
still in that same spot. As cute as it is, you're still below 500 record in the finals. It does more for everybody else than it does for LeBron. It just gives the obnoxious super LeBron fans enough ammunition to be annoying for a whole nother year.
Now, what if he goes 6-6 in the finals?
It depends. At that point, that's where it depends because now you're at 500 in the finals, But at this rate, it's like now we're starting to really appreciate the fact of how many times he went to the finals straight.
I mean, we should
Because
be
if he's
right
going
now.
to the finals and if he gets to 3 finals at this point and goes like 6-6 now at this point,
Right.
that means he would have went to 12 like 11 to 12 finals straight.
I mean, he went.
That's nuts.
I wouldn't say straight.
Too, though, because he's 35 now. So
Yes, and he's been in the league since he was 18.
I mean, I wouldn't say straight though, because last year he didn't get.
That's what I'm saying. Like we'll look at the past then, because we'll look at it like he went 9 straight years, and then he went 4 straight other years after 1 year break, which is nuts. You see what I'm saying? And plus adding the narrative of why he didn't make the playoffs and whatnot and all that.
And then it kind of helps if
But I think with LeBron James, I think the one thing that we need to look at, and there's one word that defines LeBron James, and we can help it be more grateful to his greatness, is valuable. LeBron James is probably the most valuable player to ever play the game of basketball. He's probably like not necessarily from revenue standpoints to the league and this is that third. It's up there. But as far as like we just sat there and said of when LeBron leaves, look at the team. Value. Like if you were to take LeBron James off this team right now, just take him off of the Lakers. Are the Lakers a championship team? Not a playoff team, a championship team.
No, I wouldn't say they championship.
I don't think that they're a playoff team.
I think they playoff though.
Because I've seen Anthony Davis be on 27 to 55 teams as their best player playing the majority of the games.
With rosters looking like that.
Yes. So it's not a guarantee. Like LeBron he's a legend. Like the dude, that's a bad man. You can't take nothing away from it. But I just think that it's why, and you'll hear me say this a lot, why context matters.
Mm-hmm.
People look at things so black and white all the time, and it's not like that. Oh, well, he's 3-6 in the finals. How many of those did y'all expect him to win, though? That's the thing.
That's a good point.
I get LeBron James, but no, context don't matter then. But if it doesn't fit their narrative, I want to bring context. Kevin Durant, that's all I ever say about his rings. Yes, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that he won those, but can I not also acknowledge that he did some borderline cheating to get it? Like, he put a whack move to get it?
You don't seem like you like that, Marvell.
No, it was just more so just like, again, that's where LeBron's influence comes in. Because, I was just trying to stick with the conversation of like LeBron's greatness. That's what it is. It's value. Because it's more so just like now you also look at where he goes. Like what trends does he do? Because everybody wants to get at that spot. When you look at somebody and be like, oh yeah, bro, you got $1 million. You want to talk to that person. Because it's just like, how did you get that? Now you want that knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, hey, how did you get that ring? Oh, you moved to a good team. You set up a big 3. You know what I'm saying? You're Braun. So it's the value. You know what I'm saying? It's not even just the value of what you bring to a team. It's it's the value of the competition that you set. See what I'm saying? Like, even though like we praise the 90s basketball, saying like the best era of basketball, but in today's basketball, there's the most competition. Everyone is superiorly good. You know what I'm saying? Like, not superiorly good, but just very, very talented.
I would say there's more freaking natures.
Yes, around. Yeah, that's where I'm going now. More freaking natures because, just like, modern medicines and workouts and, all that good stuff. I think that, too, with LeBron, it's when you look at what he does primarily, he's a passer. But look at him as you now see him as what, a top 3, top 4 scorer in NBA history. He's what, number 4?
No, I think he's 3.
He's 3.
Yeah.
Because it's Karl Malone, Kareem, and then
no, it's Kareem,
Kareem, Karl, Bron, Kobe, and then Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like for a dude that's primarily a passer to be top 3 in scoring ever is nuts. You see what I'm saying? And that's a testament to LeBron. It's just the value that he brings. It's just like, what do you think that the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise will look like without LeBron's accolades for what he's done for the team?
See, I get that, but at the same time, like, I always think that's a tad bit overrated because there's never a great team without great players. Like,
right? Yeah.
Such, what would the Cavs look like without LeBron? What would the Lakers look like without none of those dudes? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they have a long list of Shaq, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, all that. But what would they look like if they never had none of those players? What would the Spurs look like if they didn't have no Tim Duncan or David Robinson or Kawhi Leonard? It's always you're going to bring value when you're a great player, but I think it's also like the term great power comes great responsibility.
Mhm.
I think LeBron doing what he did, it made the NBA more flexible as far as movement and all that, but it also gave the I and team a bigger credence to it.
Right.
Because now if we suck and we fail, I can blame everybody else, and then I can go to another team. If we win, then that's all that matters. That goes back to the context, meaning nothing in some cases, because they by him doing what he did, he looked at it as championships. It doesn't matter how I get them.
Right.
It just matters that I get them. And luckily for him, they actually lost. I think the Mavericks beating the Heat was probably the best thing to happen to LeBron James because that made them
Mm-hmm.
more human, and it made them be able to lock in on the goal and knowing that it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought it was going to be. I think Kevin Durant took that and went further because I'm going to make sure the Miami Heat thing doesn't happen because Miami kind of came to a point where they were lacking in depth. But if LeBron was out, it was pretty much over for Miami. Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade wasn't going to carry them to no championship. They needed LeBron to be here.
It's funny that you
It was
mentioned
different with
Dwayne
Golden
Wade
State.
because we got a what if scenario. What if Dwayne Wade was on this Heat, prime Dwayne Wade? Since you mentioned him,
It was worse. Still,
Ah, man, I don't know about that. I don't know.
you think he'll take it? Prime D Wade?
Again, I don't know. Because here's the thing about it. Okay, so if we look at the lineup, right, everybody's healthy again. The final starts over. You have a prime Dwayne Wade at this Miami Heat team. So the starting lineup will look like this: Goran Dragic at the 1, Dwayne Wade at the 2, Jimmy Butler at the 3. Who's the starting 4 for them right now?
for the Heat.
Yeah, it's
For the
not
Heat?
Myers Leonard.
Nah, for the Heat is Jimmy Butler.
That's
Yeah,
the
I thought-
starting 4.
I mean, not Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jay Crowder at the 4, and then you have Bam Adebayo at the 5. So it's very interesting. You have now guard play, and that's what I was saying with Miami Heat earlier when we started the show. Perimeter defense. Dwayne Wade is one of the best perimeter defenders the league has seen, especially with his lightning quick reflexes and being able to run the floor. And he's the number one option. You don't have to have a sporadic, weird kind of like Jimmy Butler game be your number one option. Not to say that he's a bad option, but he's not a number one option. And then now you have Dwayne Wade as the number one option who can get you 35 casually. That's terrific in itself. Now that takes away a lot of game planning for LA because you have to focus on D Wade. Who's gonna put on D Wade? Braun. That takes away a lot for Jimmy Butler to go off and, you know what I'm saying, get him a scary little sneaky game like Jimmy Butler always has. And whenever Jimmy Butler has a great game, it's always sneaky. So it's just like there you go with that. You have with D Wade not being a shooter like that, now you have someone that can penetrate and kick out to shooters like a Duncan Robinson and a Tyler Hero and a Jay Crowder. So because it's more of a distraction now at this point. So it's like strategically how you look at Rondo. Rondo's starting to shoot threes and whatnot now, and it's just like you don't see Rondo shoot threes, but at the same time he's starting to make them at this point. So now you gotta respect him. So with Rondo going back to his previous game because they're stopping his shooting, he has to penetrate, drive, kick, and has to play the old Rondo, and that's what he did in this last game. But now that it's D Wade, it's intensified at this point. So now when you have someone that's going to drive the way he does, it's kind of like Russell Westbrook driving that now. So now you got to worry about someone as ferocious as that going into the hole, but now you have to worry about these shooters. And they got some good shooters, Miami does.
Yeah, they do.
So now you look at it and you have the perimeter guys that you have at LA. You have a Danny Green, D Wade stopping that. You have a Rondo, D Wade stopping that. KCP, D Wade stopping that. You see what I'm saying? And then you have Jimmy Butler, you have Andre Iguodala, you have Jay Crowder. Those are bodies that can be thrown at LeBron. But your only concern now is still getting, someone around AD. That's the only one you gotta fight. But now that you know it's easy for you to get AD in foul trouble, all you have to do is make sure everyone is still good and intact, offensively flow. And Miami don't lose games like that. Miami don't lose games more than like 20, like other than like game 1 of the finals. You see what I'm saying? So with them being so competitive as is without a true number one option, and with D Wade as the number one option at that, the series can easily go to 7. Easily, no matter who you give it to.
Yeah, I see that. And before you go, T, let's keep it short a little bit so we can go to break. I kept y'all talking a long time.
Also, he can talk all day.
That's what I was thinking. I was
keep
like,
it short.
I
mean,
your
you-
T's perspective.
You can talk all day.
I know T has a lot of stuff that he agreed and disagreed with, so I gotta hear it.
I mean, just know, like, after you done talking, like you could go for a long time, but I'm just gonna cut it off so he don't rebuttal.
He don't want with the tangent.
No, I'm done. I'm good.
I get straight to the point. I get to the nitty gritty.
All right, yeah.
Me steak and potatoes, buddy. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it short. Actually, it's too many non-shooters. Like high usage. Jimmy Butler is not a shooter. Dwayne Wade is not a shooter. This is an era where you have to be able to shoot. Um, if you have Dwayne Wade, then that means either Tyler Hero doesn't play a lot, or
That's what it is.
Duncan Robinson doesn't play a lot.
I mean, do you want Duncan Robinson playing a lot?
Yeah, because he opens up the floor.
He's
You're
a
better
defensive liability, though.
Yeah, but he opens up the floor. You're a better Jimmy Butler when you have Duncan Robinson taking up that gravity. You're a better Dwayne Wade when you have Duncan Robinson taking up that gravity.
Okay.
That ain't gonna be the case if Dwayne Wade's on that roster. Now you have two high usage guys that's gonna keep the ball in their hands that have to. You're basically trading 2 for 3 because especially a young prime D Wade, he really wasn't shooting no threes. You just seen Jimmy Butler have 40 points and he didn't attempt a 3. Not to say that one of them wouldn't adjusted their game, but let's not forget they did play together. Yeah, they were a little. Dwayne Wade was older, but they did play together. It looked atrocious. So I think if they put them together in their prime, it would have been the same type of problems. It would just be more. It looks better on paper, but I still think the Lakers would have the clear advantage in so many different ways, unless you're getting a prime Udonis Haslem. And you get a prime Shaq to come along with it, you might as well bring Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, and Jason Williams along with that squad too. Then we have a different conversation. Outside of that, Lakers are 5.
So do you think that finals team can beat this one?
Man, I thought you was done.
I just wondered because they basically said the whole team of back then.
I'm saying that's how much help you will need.
I mean, that's what
have a-
06
have a
Heat
chance.
versus 2020 Lakers. You don't think the 06 Heat can take it
No, I don't think so either.
defensively?
What is that? See, that's another what if. Is the referee crew the same from 06? Because if the referee crew is the same, then Miami's gonna beat whoever. They would have beat the Monstars. They would have beat the Dream Team too.
They wouldn't have been fast enough to keep up with this LA team.
All right. So we're about to go on break real quick. I know I kept them talking long, but they was eating. I had to let them eat. So when we come back, we'll probably just jump into build a team. Yeah. See y'all in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, and we back.
We back.
I don't sound like that.
And then Jeff.
All right, bro. We
Take
back.
a second to acknowledge how my orange look. I was like, I did a couple of these this morning. Look at the gut show.
I don't see it.
That's it.
The gun show, you shooting the same gun the old dude was in What's gonna do with that little gun?
That's crazy. Look,
See you going?
we back. Open gym.
Yeah, I seen the gun. His name was Russell Westbrook.
Can I finish? We back. Open gym episode. I don't know. Remember we start. Golly, bro. Remember we are.
He frustrated.
Open gym presented by Mojo Sports Gear. And you can catch us on scoreinair.com, where we got all our daily blogs, broadcasts, all that. And if you want to do what we are doing, make sure you hit up Nakia Booker or come up here to OMS at 533 East Main Street. 5330. Oh, man.
3:30.
Had him knock on the wrong door.
Like, hey, I was just trying to get an education.
They gonna be so deep.
And they're gonna talk. They're gonna find you first day. Like, hey, you told me the wrong address when we was watching your show, bro.
Not my fault.
Who's that peeking out my window?
Now, ha ha.
Nobody now.
All right, so let's jump into this build a team. Build a team. Ja Morant edition. How y'all like that?
Nice.
That's actually real. I like that.
I actually put some time into this. I ain't gonna lie. So,
Look at you. You making me proud out here, Rondell.
All right, bro. You ain't gotta ruin it.
What
It's
you
like
mean?
You're looking at the last donut in the display case, and
and no one's in the
Yeah,
room.
it's just
It's just him. Like, oh yeah,
nah,
yeah.
before I grab it.
All
And he
right.
knows it's not his either. That's the best donut. You know,
So
it's not yours.
build a team is basically we take one player and then we build a team around that player. We're doing job and rent right now. I know. I think a few episodes ago we did Jimmy Butler. That's where the idea came from. But now we're doing job. So we're gonna look at these teams and then we're gonna discuss them. So here's T's team first, which I like it other than Paul George. But we gonna get to talking about that. Here's Marvell's team, which you couldn't put Montrezl Harrell's whole name into it. I had to figure out how to spell this man's name.
It's always the L in the for me. That always
It's
gets
the
me
Z
confused.
for me. I'm like, what happened?
No, I know that the Z is there. It's just the L that I always forget at the end because
Right.
it's silent, I suppose, or I say it and I just don't hear the L every time they say it.
That's true.
It's just
And here's
ghetto.
my
So
team.
just ghetto.
Here's my team.
Oh
Well,
snap!
you
You
might
about
as
you
well
about to have
make
Ja
a
run the
reference
two?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. So
Had I knew that you were gonna do something like that, I would have definitely changed up my lineup.
you definitely changed up your lineup. So y'all.
Probably so. I would have probably did something like I probably replaced Jimmy Butler with like a shooter.
Yeah. I
I,
want.
I would like I would probably put Clay at the three and then replace him like someone else.
Right.
Like, I don't know who I would have at the two, but
So you hate your team. I can't relate.
no, I don't hate my team at all. My team is great. I just didn't know like
Look.
what Rondo was gonna do.
Well, the way I went.
Oh, okay.
The way
That's
I
what you
went
wanna do?
into it, I needed defense, but I needed scores also. So they some great defenders and they score. That's why I went into it.
Because I would have easily just took Jimmy Butler out and put Chris Paul there.
I thought of putting Chris Paul instead of Rondo, but I was like, I needed someone to be mostly assists at times.
So to be clear, our parameters were one top 10 player to join them, and then top 25 and up after that.
I didn't even look at it like that. I forgot all about that.
I really gotta make it like more like structured based
Right.
because it's kind of like kind of faulty for now, but we'll figure. I'll iron out more details.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into T. Explain your team.
Okay, so I wanted to, if I'm building around John Morant, it
Right.
was with the thought process of having a younger team. Jason Tatum was my honorable mention guy.
Right.
I didn't pick him because I thought it came down to him and Paul George. And my thinking with him is I want some type of veteran defender and somebody that can kind of do a lot of the little things that you're going to need. And it's kind of like a lesser of a role, kind of, so to speak. Because to me, it's like the way I have the hierarchy, I have John Morant, Luka Doncic is pretty much 1A as far as the duties. Um, you got Jokic, that's gonna be pretty much the playmaker, run the point five. But that's when Luka and Ja wants to do more scoring. Like it's so much of a mix. So when I'm looking at Paul George and I'm looking at Jimmy Butler, yeah, they're both two-way players, versatile, but they're defense first. So going into the modern NBA, I need a big switchable team. My team it'll lack a little bit of size, but at the same time, there's going to be no better perimeter defense switching ability team that you're going to find with Luca, Ja, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the pick mainly because I am trying to build a young team. But Jimmy Butler has shown that you can put him with young guys and he can take them to another level. It's not that he has a problem with young guys. He has a problem with sucker young guys like Carl Towns and Andrew Wiggins and Embiid and Ben Simmons. Those things weren't going to work because they didn't.
Wait, did he have a problem with Embiid and Simmons?
He had a problem with the situation.
Okay.
Maybe not personally, but
because he knew that system was faulty.
It was drama behind him. It wasn't. It was no type of drama behind the Heat situation. He's taking them to the at least to the cusp of a championship.
Right.
They're not going to get it done, granted, but he's the leader to take them that far. So I think if you put him with a young team, he's not going to poison that mindset. And again, I had to go with George over Tatum mainly just because of defense. Because what Jason Tatum does better than anything is score. I can I can't necessarily in good faith say Jason Tatum, I need you to be my defender out there with Jimmy Butler. So that's why he didn't get the cut. But Paul George is more so of that. I don't need you to be the Paul George that the Clippers needed you to be that made you end up being Pandemic P. I just need you to be shut down P. Do your job, score when you need to, play off the ball, do it that way.
Okay. All right. So, Marvel, explain your team.
Okay. So with John Morant being a high energy player and being the highest energy player on this list, I believe that I wanted a team where I wanted Ja to be a vocal point in the offense, but I didn't want him to be the number one option. So that's where Kevin Durant specifically comes in. I want Kevin Durant to be the shooter that's on the outside for the drive penetration for John Morant. John Morant, of course, being a very talented player that could, is pretty good at scoring anywhere he wants to, but he's still trying to figure it out, of course, being so young. Jimmy Butler at my two. The reason why for that is because I want someone that is a bona fide defender with Ja Morant. Um, Someone that's going to vocalize leadership and someone that can get Ja into the right mentality. I think Ja has a great competitive drive, but I think that Jimmy Butler would be a great person to put around him to try to put him into more of a focus and to put him into a better situation for himself. Um, what I wanted to do was I can definitely see with John Morant's energy, you can run like a very fast paced offensive team, but I didn't want to do that. So clearly my team looks a lot slower with Montrezl Harrell and Rudy Gobert as my backcourt. Granted, my thing was Montrezl Harrell is a pretty good scorer at the forward position. You could put him at the five. He's very tough. He's a very good defender. He's very versatile. You could put him at the 3 through 5 if you wanted to. They're very switchable. KD can play the 3 through 5 if he wanted to. KD can do whatever he wants, really. Jimmy Butler you can put as the 1 through 4 if you wanted to. Jimmy Butler has the IQ to play the four, and he's very tough. Like I said, Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year, and a good rebounder and a shot blocker. And now he's not too in depth of a Jokic, touchdown pass kind of ordeal for John Morant to go and do fast breaks to, but it's more so just like we still get the ball, we can give Ja the ball, we bring it up the court, we'll be a great half court setting team. So I got rebounding with Harrell, I got rebounding in defense with Gobert, I got points with KD, I got Jimmy Butler with leadership and defense, and I got John Morant with high energy.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's explain my team.
Los Angeles Morants.
That's crazy. Look, looking at it, I went in. I tried to think on what type of player John Morant was. I don't remember him being a shooter much. He reminded me a little bit of like LeBron in his early days. LeBron wasn't much of a shooter, or D Wade, And then I looked up. He's 33% from the 3 point
I thought he was
field.
higher than that. I thought he was like a 35 at least.
No, he's 33. So I needed a shooter. That's why I got Klay Thompson from. I wanted Steph and Clay, but I was like, nah, I just need a high volume shooter that I know is efficient. Just one of them at least. So I got Clay. And then that's when I build off. I was like, I need defense. So that's why I got Rondo, Anthony, and LeBron. Because they all of them, honestly, other than John Morant, have been all team defense, either first or second.
You could definitely put Anthony Davis as a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah.
So that's two top 10 players you cheated.
I mean, I guess I kind of cheated in a way. I didn't really think on it. I wanted Dwight at first, but then I needed a big that could also score
That's
from
where
anywhere.
the cheat comes from. I knew there was something.
That was something
Right with me,
else.
man. There was
You,
something that made my finger kind of twitch a little bit.
I mean, like I said, I didn't really look at the requirements of the perimeters. I
that's
just
that's
kind of
that's all I'm saying. I need to iron out more details to make
Yeah.
that better.
Yeah, 'cause-
Excuse me that I'm the one that paid attention to the detail.
I kind of just built off the team from like defense, and then I'm not gonna lie, I looked at Marvel's team and your team. I saw you had Jimmy. Well, I saw both of y'all had Jimmy, and I was like, I need a solid leader. That's why I got LeBron.
I didn't want to take Jimmy because I saw he had Jimmy first. I think that's another rule that we have to have. We can't use the same player.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
what
then
will make it interesting.
I saw you had Rudy, and I'm like, I need a big that's defensive. That's why I got Anthony.
I wouldn't have been mad at you if you had got Embiid. Embiid makes sense.
See, I didn't even think of Embiid.
I
That's
thought
the
of
problem.
I just thought of Embiid when T was explaining his team.
Right.
My team, my team reminds me of the Young Bulls
Yeah, I
with
get
with
that.
KD.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, my team, especially if you put LeBron in their prime, my team remind me of like the Clippers in a way. Just that lockdown defense, but more like high volume offense.
You still have front court athleticism too,
Yeah.
with DeAndre Jordan and like a Blake Griffin esque.
Right.
Like my thing was, Rudy Gobert can be like a Joakim Noah esque player. Montrezl Harrell is like a Carlos Boozer. KD's KD, so you can't really compare him. Jimmy Butler is going to be Jimmy Butler because he was on that Miami Heat squad, and John Morant I think is going to be what everyone thought D Rose was going to be.
I mean,
that's my projection of him.
I don't even want to say it. I'm just gonna knock on wood, just like I was about to say.
Is this even wood? That hurt.
It sounded like it.
We'll take it.
But yeah, so that was build the team.
I think my team was pretty modern. Like, if you asked me this 10 years ago, I'm going a whole different way. But you can play Paul George at the power forward now. You can play Jimmy Butler. You can even play Luka at the power forward.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's kind of scary.
Luka at the
power forward.
Yeah,
wait, how tall
you would
is
think,
Luka?
But it's
6'7", 6'8".
But to me, it's all about defense. So how many players am I going to have to go against that's going to really make me pay at the power forward position? Maybe a LaMarcus Aldridge will make you pay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The way I looked at it, I was like, if my team was going up
Giannis will
against
make you pay. Pascal depends on the day.
See those, but that's what interchangeable comes at, because if I have Luka, then Giannis is getting guarded by Paul George and Jimmy Butler.
Right.
That's why I have the defenders I have.
Positionless basketball.
Exactly. The perimeter, it's not necessarily you're gonna have to play power forward in the paint. It's just you play somebody. But my best perimeter player, like use Giannis for example. Giannis, he's gonna go to the cup. Yeah, he's a post presence, but you can put a perimeter player on him to kind of necessarily D him up or give him some problems because he's going to hold on to the ball. He's going to bring it up. He's not getting the ball fast most of the time. He has the possession. So just having people that's able to switch. One possession you see Jimmy, then you switch. Now it's Paul George. Then it's Luka for a little minute. Then you get a little bit of Ja. Like that's what's going to give you some problems. Now I could get better defense at my 5 position, but I think Jokic being there just offensively crazy because there's 3 people that can really handle the ball, and anybody else can kind of fall in the line.
Yeah, that's another way I looked at it. Because you had the defensive big, and I felt like you had the more offensive big. So I needed a big that fit both criteria. That's why I went Anthony Davis.
You picked the top 10 big. I get it.
I didn't think on the top 10.
My thing is too, like, I love picking Jokic because that's my man. It's my favorite player in the league. But it's just like it's kind of hard. With the team that I wanted to do, it was because I feel like with Jokic, I would have felt like I would have lacked defense so bad, and I would have been like, I would much rather have Jokic at a forward. But of course, I wasn't cheating. But it was more so of just, it's just like Jokic should give me points, he'll give me assists, he'll give me reboundings, but I don't know what he's going. I have to pair him with something very, very nice at defense. Like I didn't know who I could like put him with, as far as top 15 other than Gobert, but like again, not cheating.
That's why
I didn't know any like power forward to put him with.
That's why Tatum was left off, because I didn't want to be too offensively of a team, because the perimeter defense can kind of make up for the lack of post present defense. Because really, Jokic just needs to be a paint protector. Just have to be there. You don't have to necessarily block every shot. Just be there to contest them, and we'll be all right. Because our perimeter players are going to give you enough problems before you get to the lane. But I mean, either way it goes, like Ja Morant's a great case to build around because he gives you enough to start with. You just have to be able to put a proper team around him. And I know Memphis, they came up short, even though they had a good run most of the season, and the pandemic hurt them probably more than anybody. But at the same time, I think Memphis wasn't that greatly built around either. They was kind of built this year to lose. And Ja Morant's is that good of a talent that he's going to elevate that kind of lower level talent to different levels. So if you give him something like that, and just like my thinking, I don't know if it was the same with y'all's, I looked at that being a championship team. If this is a team that was trotted out in the West, I can see that team that I put together winning the championship.
I looked at it like a championship team, but also looked, if he took Ja out of my team, I felt like my team would beat y'all's team. That's another way I looked at it.
If you replace Anthony Davis with somebody that makes sense, you're not beating my team.
All right, but we're at the end of the show.
You have Rondo. That's all I need.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Luka.
That's the kitchen right there. Like
buckets.
I got Clay though.
Barbecue chicken over here.
Come on now, I put Clay on Luka. Come on now.
That's cute.
Still barbecue chicken.
That's
All
cute.
right,
They
sure.
done put Paul George on Luca and for the final shot.
It's
Look what
Paul
Luca
George
did.
though.
Luka for
Pop.
It was Pandemic P to be more honest.
Well,
You guys have an idea who you want to use for the next builder team? I think I do.
We'll talk about it
In the chat.
in the chat.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I was thinking Jokic.
We'll get back
hey,
to
we
it.
could work on that. But we at the end of the show. Any last thoughts?
Check us out tomorrow. Definitely check us out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Browns won a
Definitely check us
game.
out.
We 3. Woo. I ain't gonna spoil it. I just know I'm coming. I'm gonna be obnoxious tomorrow, baby.
You already know. I threw up the W because you know my Bengals got the
W
win.
too. But yeah, tomorrow 12 o'clock ish. Um, Nutty North Show. Same place, same time, same channel. Um, like our stuff, share our stuff, throw some love in it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everything's about support. Show these brothers some love. Definitely couldn't do it without them. Well, I could, but I ain't doing it without them. My guys, I appreciate everything they do. Good peoples. Show them some love, show them some support.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What about you, Marvell? Any last thing to say?
I am him. That's all I gotta say about that.
We don't know what that means, so we gonna go into me.
He found out on the fortune cookie.
We don't know what that means. So
You know, like T said, check us out. You know, check them out. Definitely them out. They gonna answer back. I probably won't.
you don't like your
I ain't
fans.
answering nothing but cash apps now.
That's crazy.
And
Also,
food.
Venmo.
also, if there's anything you took from
Apple
this
Pay.
episode, take that I am a hype beast and a cheater. So, yeah,
He's a cheater.
hype beast and cheater. Yes, sir. See y'all next time.
We gone.
What's wrong with my